YouTube. It is I, Sir Carmen, coming to do some more 2v2 action with myself and a Void against Alex39 and Beastmen. That's not his name. I think his name is Rogue Pineapple, who we have played before. The dreaded Rogue Pineapple. A pineapple that is no longer tethered to the world, is a pineapple of a truly dangerous pineapple. Anyways, here we are with Sakarma and Void, another 2v2, as I just said. And I will be letting the Norska and Warriors of Chaos, so very thematic, against Beastmen and Empire. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in lore, right? I guess Beastmen have men in the name, so maybe they were like, let's focus more on the men part and less on the beast part. These guys are like, yeah, that sounds good to us, and now they're friends. Meanwhile, we have beasts ourselves, one of them being a mammoth with the sad eyes. Oh, so sad. And a skull for a nose. In any case, Wolfric's up there pimping, doing his thing, looking pretty hot in that chair, in that throne. So we got some familiar great weapons, some berserkers. So I want to say these are just regular marauders, just plain old marauders with some more familiar, a couple of warhounds, brutes, marauder hunters, and marauder spearmen with a fire bale fiend. Over here we got Lucky, ish I guess. He popped his Blackhorn Ravagers in here, who can forward deploy right on top of our Marauder Horsemen. Of course, they will never catch them, and they will do pretty good damage. They have bronze shields, I want to say, bronze shields, but still, they'll do some good damage. And you know, these guys cost what? I want to say 1,000 or so, 1,200, and these guys cost 800. So maybe not the greatest trade, but we'll pick them up for free, which is quite nice. Over here, Void's popped his army on the hill, so we've got some Chaos Marauders, a lot of Marauders, some Chosen with great weapons, very funky. The Regiments of Renowned, Sunrise of Rage, and the Demon Spew, and then some, I guess, Chaos great weapons, Marauders, yeah. And then of course we've got Sarthrel, the Everwatcher, who you have to ask yourself, is he always watching? Because if he is, I've done some depraved shit in my life, so you have to ask yourself, is he a happy bird? I can't imagine he is. He's seen some things, at least from personally, like my end alone. He's had a rough go of it, let me tell you. Over here we've got some Razor Gore chariots with a single chevron. Well, these Razor Gores are cool looking. They're fucked up big monsters, eh? Very cool. In any case, yeah, they're stunning double Dutch here, ready to go, ready to axe some people down. And then we've got a little box here with great swords along the front line, some handgunners, a witch hunter, a Karl Franz, and a Grey Wizard, and some more handgunners. The men beasts over here have 2 Gorebulls, a lot of spears, Korok's Man-Rippers, Destroyers of the Drakewald, very good unit. I like Destroyers of the Drakewald a lot. Bestigor Herd, and who's this? A Beast Lord. Ooh, very fascinating. And who's their caster? No caster. And then they have some demis in the back. Whoa, how many chevrons they put on those guys? A lot. Alright, and that'll be it. So let's get it rocking and rolling. And a coming and a colon. Coming in the colon. Jesus. Don't do that. Well, I guess, I mean, if that's what you like, who am I to judge? So Franz wants a piece of this bird, and he's going to get it. He's going to do a lot of damage right off the bat. I don't know how he did so much damage. Or maybe he's being accused. I don't know. Maybe the Witch Hunter, something's doing damage to him. But yeah, they're going after him. But look at a Void just fucking running him through the front line. Taking a ton of damage, but doing a ton of damage too, and disrupting the front line. So I don't know how worth that is. Wolfric is doing the very brave thing of running away. He is undeniable, but his challenge is undeniable, rather. But he does not want to get in this fight against 2 Gorebulls. Even though they're kind of shit compared to what they used to be in Game 1, they're still quite scary. I want the Familiar Balefiend in there, because he will start sundering, I believe, armor sundering, and they already have such low armor to begin with, so these Marauders will be very, very good. We are going to get a nice, whatever it's called, Seafarer or whatever, right through the front line, and just pretty much decimate these 2 units of very weak spearmen. So yeah, we've broken that line already, which is quite nice. But over here, it's going to go much better for them. Bestigors don't have the highest armor value, especially when they're being sundered by these Familiar Warriors. So with these Berserkers, we actually will do alright in this battle, and Void's helped me out with a couple of units. But yeah, basically we're just trying to... He did get his Beast Lord in the back line, but we do have spears. Well, we are trying to protect Wolfric, but we're doing good damage to these Gorebulls with Wolfric alongside... I don't think he has an anti-large, does he? Does he have an anti-large? I never knew this. I never did know this. Does he have an anti-large? It looks like anti-infantry, right? Yeah, certainly. But still, a 50 melee attack, that's more than enough to hit the Gorebulls. At 32. Why is this Gorebull so jacked up? No, 32. So that's more than enough to hit the Gorebulls, and he does do a ton of damage, and they don't have the greatest health values. Gorebulls just aren't what they used to be. And of course, he can cast that spell, Hunters of Champions, on them. Over here, meanwhile, we spoke about these guys when we found them. We caught them with our Brutes of the Hound, rather, some Norscan Ice Wolves, and we just pretty much ripped them apart. So that's where they've been this whole battle. Meanwhile, the front line for Void isn't looking great. At least these Chaos Marauders aren't. But the Chosen have now engaged. Summoner's Rage have been pretty much nerfed down, or well, sniped down rather. But the Chosen with great weapons, of course, are going to be very scary. We did get a nice, look at that, Pit of Shade just going off and wrecking face on these poor Chosen. This guy's getting sucked up into the Nether of Darkness, and that's not good for us. Oh, so he is getting sucked up, Jesus. Oh, he's getting up, though. Look at these dudes. Oh, they look like buddies, like they're like a football team who just got wiped out, but they're ready to keep fighting. So good for them. In any case, let's get back to the battle. And the oh shit, give it to me. I thought he was gonna stab his staff down or something, do something cool. No, he's gonna step on somebody though. Certainly, no, maybe not. With his hentai cane. Oh, here he goes. Yeah, that wasn't as dramatic as I thought it would be. Meanwhile, over here, we're just having a blob fight. They are trying to really focus down Wolfric, and they're doing a decent job of it. But as that's happening, we're just crushing everything else along his front line. Another thing to note about Berserkers, and it's something that I've come to learn in my time playing against Norska and as Norska, they have really high, well, first of all, they're being buffed, but they have really high melee attack and really high weapon damage. So when they're fighting monsters that don't have the greatest armor values, like Minotaurs or Rat Ogres, they can actually do very, very well against them on the charge. So they obviously don't have an they have an anti-infantry bonus, not an anti-large bonus, but unarmored large units tend to take a lot of damage from Marauder Berserkers, especially on the charge. So something worth noting. You don't really want them to fight in that battle. But yeah, they're aggressively trying to kill Wolfric, and I don't remember if they get it done or not. I'm probably gonna send these Famir warriors to help out, and they're gonna get in there. And obviously, that's not a good fight for the Gorebulls. They're gonna take a lot of damage there, and we're pretty much killing this one. But I'm gonna try and keep Wolfric alive, trying to keep him alive, trying to pull through my units. He's a giant model, but he's going to flee. Good thing is they won't be able to catch him because we do have these Norse Ice Wolves in the back line, and I do have these Brutes of the Hound coming here to help him out. So we're gonna send these guys in here to try and protect Wolfric. Meanwhile, we're going to be winning this fight pretty well, I would assume. We have some Marauders, we have some Berserkers. You see the Berserkers here, they actually beat these Minotaurs. They sent them packing, so that's quite nice. In the back line here, Summoners of Rage have come in, and he's going to cast it pretty much on his own troops. That was quite a crazy move by Void, but hey, why not? Across the front line, though, Big Bird still being basically a monster and crushing everything. And now the Witch Hunter can no longer fire. He still has the Accuse, of course, but it's not going to be great. And we have some Wolves in the back line just cleaning up. They are going to lose to these Demigryph Knights, but they're going to clean up some of these units all the same. Wolfric has returned to the battle. The Brutes of the Hound are in position to back him up and fight this Gorebull, but I'm going to be like, nah, I don't want to fight this battle quite yet. I think we have slain a Gorebull, but now that he's covered by these, he's Hunted of Championed, and he's covered by these Wolves, I'm like, now's the time to fight, and we just pummel over him, and he's been flattened. And we're just going to do a lot of damage to him. But he does have Deadly Onslaught, so that's actually quite scary. Probably shouldn't have put Wolfric in this battle. He still has 1,000 health, of course. And they have about the same health, even though it looks about... He's got like a sliver because he has so much health to begin with. But yeah, the Gorebull is now being focused down by wolves and spears. I'm going to send him in the back here to protect these guys from the spears. These Man-Rippers have held out a long time. And actually, this is not a bad battle for them. But yeah, it's not looking great for our Famir Balefiend over here. I am going to try and pull him into these spears. And I'm going to cast some spells. Who knows where. That is true magic. And then, but we were able to keep Wolfric the Wanderer alive, and the Gorebull is now dead. It has been felled. So, yeah, he's right there. There he is. Poor Gorebull. Hello, Gooby. In any case, over here, Void's doing well on his flank as well. He still has some very healthy... Well, no, not very healthy. All his Chosen are pretty much dead. Actually, his army's pretty much crushed, but my army's in decent shape here. I have a pretty, I have a pretty much untouched unit of Brutes of the Hound. And then I have some spears. I have a Famir Balefiend. Everything's looking good. So yeah, we're going to come in and start, pretty much giving it to... I think if Void still would have won this. That was a good Pendulum Algebra. But he probably still would have won this considering his... Oh, he does still have a very healthy unit of Summoners of Rage plus this Chosen. Yeah, so Void had this in hand. But yeah, with my army on his side now, it's going to be over for our opponents. So we're just going to clean up here with some cav charges and picking them off and, showing them the meaning of pain. We got some familiar ones. Every time he says "so be it," it sounds like he's saying "Soviet." Maybe we're being brainwashed, like Simpsons episode. Even net Diage, join the Navy. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna speed it up here because it is the battle is lost. The alliance of man and beast has fallen to chaos. And we have him. What do elephants do? They don't roar, do they? What would you call that? A blow? What do elephants do? Do they blow? It doesn't matter. 134 kills on Wolfric, quite nice. Famir Balefiend got some good kills in there as well. These guys cleaned up some units that are routing and were able to cause havoc. His greatsword line did pretty alright actually, considering he was messed up by Void's birdie. But these handgunners just weren't able to get the effect they needed, and these guys already had chevrons to begin with, but they gained one as the battle's going. Witch Hunter, 46 kills, quite nice. 31 on the Grey Wizard, not bad. yeah, tough matchup there. These Chosen just wreck everything on the Empire. It's tough to deal with Chosen as Empire. Handgunners would work, but the problem with handgunners is you can't stop the bird because he doesn't really take damage from gunners. So that's a problem. And is it trouble? There's only so many things you can shoot, right? You can't shoot these Summoners of Rage and the bird and these 3 Chosen with all your gunners. Not to mention you're getting harassed in the back line. Not easy. On the Beastmen side, the Gorebulls they did a good job on Wulfric, but I mean that's a lot of spend. They put, you know, who knows how much spend, 2,600 to kill Wulfric. Meanwhile, that's all Gorebulls can really do, right? I guess they have those buffs, but other than that, they're spending all this money just trying to kill Wulfric, and then even kill Wulfric. And I'm, you know, as he's running around, he's causing damage to the infantry, he's causing the Seafarer, whatever it's called, and killing spearmen. So, I mean, cost-wise, equivalent, but their cost is very specialized. He's much more general, so I was just wrecking all these units as the battle's going on. And yeah, in any case, GG to our opponents was a fun one, and I hope to see you guys around the bend.